everybody. Catherine Beeks from Listen Local Radio with another episode of Half-Assed TV. Today, I have with me my friend Eric Jones from the East County Arts with a very cool show he wants to tell folks about. So welcome, Eric. How are you?
Thank you. Very, very good. We're a little bit warm up here in Julian today, but looking forward to some performing arts here in the near future.
So first of all, tell me about the East County Arts.
Yeah, so in Julian, we all came through COVID, as most of you did, with not much prospect of any kind of complex performing arts. Involved lots of people coming together for a couple weeks and putting on a show. It was something that wasn't going to happen because of the risks. There were financial risks of a show being canceled. There wasn't much appetite for taking that risk. So about a year and a half ago, we conceived this idea of creating a nonprofit that was designed to do just that, create a full season of performing arts up here in Julian, and fund it through not only ticket sales, but also grants in some small form, but also the generosity of local givers, people who really wanted an option that was local to Julian. They love theater. They're willing to drive down to the hill to go to shows, but they'd love to have something that was produced locally, quality community theater. So that's what we decided to do.
We love those patrons. Thank you so much, patrons, for keeping the arts going.
And real quickly, what we did that first year, and just almost exactly a year ago, we launched our first show. We created an entire season of performances, and this is an example of the poster for that season. So ranging from straight plays to a big Broadway musical at the end of the season. We also brought up some professional musicians from the coast. I don't know if you've heard of the Hutchins Consort. They're a fabulous group that have 8 matched string instruments that range all the what's it called? The voices of the instruments. Fantastic group. We loved having them up here. So that's what we did last year, and we're launching our second season right now.
That's so exciting. I can't believe that that's right here. When we first moved to Ramona, I was like, oh, it's so cool. It's got this little art scene, and the music scene is incredible. And then I was wondering if they had a theater, and found out that they didn't, but that you guys have one right up the hill. So,
well, Ramona has a history of performing arts and theater groups, but they've come and gone just based on the leadership's availability and willingness to throw in. And again, COVID was a killer across the board.
It did take the wind out of a lot of sails. I totally get that. Well, so thank you and your group for what you do there in Julian, because it takes a lot of love and all the blood, sweat, and tears, as they say. It's literal. And so you guys have this incredible show coming up. Tell me about Night on the Town.
Very fun. So our first show out of the gate for the second season is going to be in Julian Town Hall, and it's going to be in 2 weekends in September, starting September 22nd. What we usually do when we're putting on a show here is we have a Friday night show, a Saturday night show, and then we do a Sunday matinee. So that's what we're going to do. 6 shows over 2 weekends, a 7 o'clock curtain on Friday and Saturday, and a 2 o'clock matinee curtain. So people can come up, maybe have dinner beforehand in Julian, then come see a show and still get back down the hill before the witching hour. Or come on a matinee, come enjoy the town for a day. So that's the timing of it. This is the format of this is an old-fashioned radio show. So our director has gone and researched and picked 3 different radio shows that were actually performed live on the radio in the 1940s, and has brought a cast together of about a dozen people. They're working right now to prepare for this. So they're going to be just like the employees of a radio station who show up to work on an evening and go through the entire process of creating radio. We're going to have Foley artists. So we were researching how that works.
I love that.
Turns out there's a little sub-community in San Diego of Foley artists. So they're very happy to. Cool. There's something for everybody. So they're teaching us, and we're gonna create the actual instruments that they use to make the sound effects. Some of the shows are familiar. Some people who maybe had grandparents who exposed them to us, like I did. But Burns and Allen great comedy act.
Yeah.
George Burns is known to most of us, and his
Yeah.
wife was a great comic actress. So they had an enormously popular radio show that transitioned to television. This is
Mhm.
one of their scripts they actually performed. It's a great comedy script about the confusion a turkey eats a wedding ring and what happens, what happens then to get the wedding ring out of the turkey. So that's the first part. And then it takes a surprising turn. I wasn't involved in the selection of these shows, but boy, Ginger Cardinal, who's a Ramona resident, she's directing this.
Okay.
She found a fabulous script that's dark and twisted. And I didn't realize in the 1940s on the radio they were doing this. I presume they sent the kids to bed at some point, and the
Right.
adults stayed up and enjoyed this. But there's uh, perhaps a serial killer involved. There's a little mystery and a little. We have to discover this as we listen to the show.
Nice.
So I was asked today by a friend, can I bring my kids? And I thought about it. I said, well, you know what? I would bring the kids to the first act because they're going to love to see what it looked like to put on a radio show.
Yeah.
The Burns and Allen stuff is just hilarious.
Yeah.
And then maybe, call it an evening. We'll take the kids back home after intermission
Right.
because then it goes a little adult, I think.
I love
It's
that.
all gonna be enjoyable.
Ginger is the director. Who else is involved? The cast and
Yeah, so we had open casting. We have two actors from Ramona. The rest of them are Julian residents. Some of the actors have been in several of our shows so far.
nice.
This has been a great way to build community. We now have a family of people involved in theater, both on the stage and behind the scenes. So it's as it's not just the people on stage. It's sound, it's light design, it's the
Absolutely.
running of tech, the front of the house, all that stuff has to happen, and they're all locals, and that's what we wanted to
Nice.
do. We wanted to create a family.
I love that. That's wonderful. So do people need tickets to go see this live performance?
Yeah, so I mean, it's possible we'll sell out. I would love that happens, but I encourage people to buy tickets in advance.
Okay.
We will sell them at the door if there's tickets available. Yeah, but we use Eventbrite. So you can go on there and buy your tickets. Tickets are $20 for adults, $10 for students. There's no service fee for the student tickets, but Eventbrite does take its cut for the adult
Yeah,
tickets.
sure.
We have we set up a concession before and during intermission,
Okay.
and we might have wine and beer in this one. I think it's going to be
Nice.
come a little hungry and a little thirsty because we're going to have
Nice. I
something
love that.
special for you.
And then it's the first showing that you'll be recording, that we'll be broadcasting that recording.
It's going to be Saturday night. We're going
Okay.
to do Saturday night, so we'll actually open the night before. My
Gotcha.
experience in theater, opening night is for people who like watching uncertainty, and no matter how good your troupe is,
Yeah.
it's better to record the second night. So we're going to set up the second night and tell the
Smart.
audience that listen, you are now part of an actual recording and broadcast, and through your services, through your hard work, we're going to be able to put that out there so people can listen and experience what it's like to be at their home and listening to a radio. So I'm really excited
Absolutely.
about that.
Yeah, I'm so honored to be part of the project, Eric. Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, we'll make that available whenever you're ready. We'll post that up and it'll be available there at listenlocalradio.com, and then of course wherever people listen. Okay, and so moving forward, do you have any auditions coming up for people that are interested?
Yeah, so the next show we're doing that we're bringing in another instrumental professional group in November, but in December we have our big annual Christmas show in Julian. This is something that's happened probably a dozen times over the past 20 years. This is A Christmas Carol, which is a great Dickens classic,
Oh
and
man, how cool.
Victorian ghost story, just spectacular. So early November is when we'll do auditions for that, and it's a big cast, and it's a cast that involves all ages. So we have youth down to age 6 or 7, and
Right.
we have anyone else who wants to be involved can be involved. Cast of about 25 people for that show. It's a big production, very well done up here.
Fantastic. And I imagine people can get information at eastcountyarts.org.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we will have if you want to sign for a mailing list, we'll remind you when tickets are available and when auditions are happening. Otherwise, just look for promotions as we get stuff out there.
Great. And I'm sorry to jump around a little, but I'm so excited. Tell me about the theater. How many seats is the theater hold? And
Yeah, so this show coming up will be done in Julian Town Hall, which is, if you ever haven't been up to our town hall, great historic building, just has brand new floors put in, beautiful hardwood maple floors that are will be the first event in there. So it still has its historic feel. It's white rafters and fans and just a really cool place to see a show. This venue will hold about 80 seats.
Okay,
It's very intimate.
perfect.
We also, some of our shows we do at the Julian High School Theater, where it's not a high school production, but they let us use their theater, and that's a much bigger house. About 160 people can fit in
Okay,
that.
nice. I love that you have those options. That's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm so happy to learn about East County Arts and what you're doing there, Eric. And this production sounds wonderful, and I'll definitely share it with everybody. And hopefully, we'll get a bunch of folks out to see it live and then listen to it long after. So thank
All
you
right, beautiful.
for involving us, and it was very nice to meet you. I look forward to hanging out.
Very good. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Eric.